got caught in the third pew, no way to stand, huh? And God love you. Well, thank you very much. Look, Macarena, thanks for that introduction. It's great to be at Florida Memorial University, one of the nation's great HBCUs. I'm a big fan of HBCUs. I got my start at one of those other HBCUs, Delaware State University. Oh, okay, that is pretty good, man. Anyway. Anyway, look. You know, talking to the students about my administration's plan to provide student loan relief for working middle class folks. Talking about my historic community HBCUs that included $5.8 billion in investment. Let me tell you, one of the great ways to honor HBCU's legacy is to vote, vote, vote. Look, you can do it, I'm telling you, you can make the difference. Last time I was in Florida, was almost a month ago, just after Hurricane Ian hit. We surveyed the damage on the ground in Fort Myers and the surrounding community areas by helicopter. The damage and destruction was historic and horrific. It was almost unimaginable. And I said then, it's going to take not weeks and months, but years to fully recover and rebuild. But I gave the people of Florida my commitment to the country's commitment that you will not go through this alone. We ain't going home. My administration has been following through on those commitments to get the people of Florida what they need as fast as we can and help you rebuild. So far, $1.7 billion in assistance has gone to this state. We've set up 23 disaster recovery centers where survivors can register for help, and FEMA has performed over 180,000 home inspections. The U.S. Small Business Administration has approved another $460 million for low-interest loans to business owners, renters, and homeowners. And like I said, this is just the beginning of our effort. We'll be with you every step of the way. We're not going home. Folks, it's great to be with the next governor of Florida, Charlie Crist. It's great to be the next U.S. Senator, Val Demings. I know them both very well. Charlie's a guy you know and trust. He's always working there, fighting for working families like yours. He was a great governor before, and they make him an even greater governor again because of who he's going to replace him. Folks, whether it's building an economy that works for everyone or keeping communities safe and protection to the right to choose, that Chief Val Demings, she's the real deal. Defined by one word, commitment. Commitment. She does what she says. And folks, she's fighting for seniors to protect their Social Security and Medicare. She literally put her life on the line to serve and protect the people of this state. And when it comes to public safety, she knows what it takes. Folks, imagine Chief Demings on the beat in the United States Senate. I can hardly wait. They ain't seen nothing yet. Oh man, we got a hell of a delegation. Folks, we need to elect Charlie and Val. We need to elect Democrats up and down the ballot, including your outstanding members of Congress, Debbie and Frederica and Sheila. If we do that, Florida's not going to be only a better place, so will America be. Look, on a very serious note, that's why we're all here. That's why we're all here. 7 days. 7 days until the most important election in our lifetime. You've heard me say it before, we're at an inflection point in history. It comes about every 5 or 6 generations. So much has changed in America and around the world that the decisions we make, the decisions you make over the next 2 to 3 years are going to determine the fate of this country, not a joke, for the next decade to 2 decades. There's a lot at stake. A lot of it's so much opportunity. Put the paper down. I'm not coming and getting it. Okay? All right? It's all of a paper. He wants to send me a letter here. Well, look, let's be real clear about one important thing. This election is not a referendum. It's a choice. It's a choice between two vastly different visions for America. I've said from the beginning that my objective when I ran was to build an economy from the bottom up and the middle out. An economy that rewards work, not just wealth. The economy works for everybody. So poor folks have a chance, middle class does better, and if they do that, the wealthy will still do very well. It's a fundamental shift in work. That's what's working now. Compared to the mega MAGA, I call them trickle-down economics that the Republicans offer these days. Folks, this ain't your father's Republican Party. This is a different breed of cat. Just look at the facts. When I took office, the economy was in ruins. This is not because of me, it's because of what I inherited. My predecessor was the first president since Herbert Hoover to lose jobs. He had fewer jobs when he left office than when he came to office. Last president that happened to was literally Herbert Hoover. And look, here's the deal. Unemployment was at 6.4%. Hundreds of thousands of small businesses had gone out of business, closed, bankrupt. But today we're in a better place. 10 million jobs created since I took office. And over 700,000 manufacturing jobs. With good pay. Where is it written that we can't be the manufacturing capital of the world? I mean it. Think about it. Unemployment is down from 6.5 to 3.5%, the lowest in 50 years. Black, Latino, and Asian communities, unemployment is way down. 5.4 million Americans applied to start new businesses just since I've been up. 5.4 billion, the highest ever in American history. Look, Putin's invasion of Ukraine sent gas prices soaring around the world. But because of the actions we've taken, gas prices are coming down here at home. They're down $1.25. I just passed the gas station on the way. $3.25 when I was $5 when I took off this summer. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. It's a difficult time. Americans across the country have stepped up and are doing the right thing, but not everyone. The oil industry is not doing the right thing. They haven't made their commitment to invest in America and support the American people. One by one, major oil companies have reported their profits for the last 2 quarters. I mean, profits so high, it's hard to believe. Last week, Shell Oil announced that it made $9.5 billion in profit in 3 months, the 3rd quarter. 9.5. That's almost twice as much as they made the 3rd quarter of last year. Exxon's 3rd quarter profits were $18.7 billion. Nearly triple what Exxon made last year. The most it's made in its entire 152-year history. In the last 6 months, while the rest of the country is going through hell, 6 of the largest oil companies made more than $100 billion in profits. $100 billion in less than 200 days. It's outrageous. These companies are taking the average profits they've been making by refining oil over the last 20 years. If they were doing that instead of the outrageous profits they're making today, you could pass on the rest of the consumers. The price of gas would be down another 50 cents. They're the facts. Instead, they're buying back their own stock because that's how the CEOs get paid. They're giving the profits to shareholders, the outrageous profits, and the windfalls of war. Yesterday, I made it clear that the industry has a choice. Either begin to invest in America or pay higher taxes on your excessive profits and face other restrictions. You know, it's amazing. Even though my Republican friends in Congress seem to be hoping for a recession, the last week's GDP report came out. You know what it shows? The economy is in fact growing. In fact, the economy grew 2.6% last quarter. And although it may not feel that way, people's incomes went up the last quarter more than inflation. Economic growth is up. Price inflation is down. Real incomes are up. And gas prices are down. But here's the best, most important thing to me. Exports. What we make and export from America are up, meaning we're making things again here in America. Today we're shipping products overseas instead of shipping jobs overseas, like we've been doing for much too long. You got it. There's nothing we can't do. And here's another thing. My predecessor, he promised to have an infrastructure week. For 4 years he promised infrastructure. It became a laugh line. Well, guess what? We're creating infrastructure decade. We're going to build America the way it should be built. Create once-in-a-generation investments in our nation's roads, highways, bridges, railroads, ports, airports, water systems, high-speed internet. And by the way, that includes a $16 million grant to the port of Miami, which I'm sure your governor will take credit for somewhere along the line. To expand and upgrade its rail and cargo gates to make the port more efficient. Val Demings voted for it. Her opponent voted against it. The American people are beginning to see the benefits of an economy that works for them. Families have more net worth than they did before the pandemic. Fewer families are behind in their mortgages, their credit card bills than before the pandemic. And importantly, more Americans have health insurance than before the pandemic. And you know, we pay the highest prescription drug prices of any country in the world. Same manufacturer, same drug. You buy it in Miami, and you buy it in Paris, and it costs considerably less than you buy it in Paris. By the same exact drug, the same manufacturer. And ladies and gentlemen, so without a single Republican vote in Congress, guess what? We Democrats took on and beat Big Pharma. For the first time in years, we beat them. We flat beat Big Pharma. They spent millions of dollars trying to prevent it. I'm serious. I've been fighting these guys for a long time, man. Finally. With every single Democrat vote, and by the way, you know what one of the results is? We're capping out-of-pocket costs for prescriptions for seniors to $2,000 a year. Guess what? No matter whether they're paying $10,000, $12,000, $14,000 a year as they are for some cancer drugs, they're not going to have to pay a single penny more than $2,000 a year. Period. By the way, one more thing. If Big Pharma continues to raise drug prices faster than inflation, guess what? They're going to have to write a check to Medicare to cover the difference. No, that's the law. That's the law. By the way, last year, Big Pharma raised the price of 1,200 drugs they manufactured faster than the rate of inflation, and they didn't do a damn thing to make the product better. Same exact product. We're going to put a stop to that, I promise you. One more significant change we just made. We're capping the cost of insulin for seniors on Medicare. You know how much it costs to make that insulin? The guy who invented it didn't patent it because he wanted it available for everybody. It cost $10 to produce it. And you know what the average price they're paying for it? $400. Well, guess what? They can't pay any more than, they can't get any more than $35 now. 30, they'll make a good profit, no more. Instead of paying $400 a month. Folks, this could be a lifesaver for people. And I'm going back to make sure it's $35 a month for not just people on Medicare, but for every single American. I promise you. Not a joke. I'm going to get more than hell And on top of these actions, earlier this month, we lowered the cost of hearing aids. You know what? We made them available over the counter. Places like Walgreens and Walmart, saving $3,000 a pair. Hear me? For millions of Americans with hearing loss. If I don't stop talking so loud, you're all going to have hearing loss. And on top of that, I'm going to do away with hidden, unfair fees known as junk fees, like surprise, banking overdraft. You overdraft, you get another bill for $35. No more. Excessive credit card rate fees you didn't know about at $50. No more. And the Department of Transportation is working on rules to require airlines and travel sites to disclose all their fees up front. So when you're booking travel for the holidays, you know what extra amount you're going to have to pay for things like sitting next to your kid, or checking the bag, or changing your ticket, or even if you can't change your ticket without additional cost. Folks, these add up. These are big numbers for people, and they don't know it's even coming. While Republicans want to pass tax breaks for the wealthy in corporate America, we're passing tax credits to help the American people weatherize their home. For real. To buy energy-efficient appliances, get a tax credit. Put solar panels on your home. Help you buy an electric vehicle. Weatherize your home. Things that they say will save the average family another $500 a year and help save the environment. And one of these things I promised to do, because I understand the high cost of college, I took action to ease the burden of student debt for millions of working middle class Americans. Over 90% who earn less than 75 grand, they're now getting up $20,000 a year on student debt. 10 for most folks, another 10 to get a Pell Grant. It's a game changer. I had to borrow to get to college. I had to work through college like my sons and daughters did. What have Republicans done about this? Well, guess what? They moaned and groaned about it. And they challenged it in court, which they're going to lose. And I'm not going to apologize for 1 second for helping working middle-class families recover and reduce their student debt so we can be efficient to buy a home, start a business, and so much more. And by the way, I think you don't do this, but take a look at who's complaining. The same Republican officials who voted for the unpaid $2 trillion tax giveaway that mainly benefited wealthy Americans and biggest corporations. I don't want to hear it from active Republicans who sit in Congress. And by the way, those same folks that are complaining in Congress, they had hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions of dollars in the pandemic relief forgiveness loans, but they took it. They didn't attack it. Working middle-class Americans and student debt relief. For example, Marjorie Taylor Greene. And guess what? She took $180,000 in business loan forgiveness. One of your congressmen right here in Florida, Vern Buchanan, said, our plan was reckless. Guess how much he got? $2.3 million for losses. Now look, how in the heck can they complain about that? We're trying to give students a break to be able to get out from under college debt. Look, folks, who in the hell do they think they are? By the way, I already heard from my colleagues today how Republicans want to make permanent the Dobbs decision, denying women the right to choose. Well, I got news for you. We're going to elect a couple more U.S. senators and Democrats. And we're going to codify Roe v. Wade and the women's right to choose. And by the way, if somehow they were able to pass this, I will veto it. Look, you know, you can hear from Republicans, my God, that big spending Democrat Biden, man, he's taking us in debt. Well, guess what? I reduced the federal deficit this year by $1.4 trillion. $1.4 trillion. For those that all billion. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Look, we're going to go further, reduce the deficit over the next decade by another $250 billion. A big part of that is because corporations are finally having to pay minimum tax. Oh, and we're burning 15%. You pay more than 15%. But guess what? One more thing. On our watch, for the first time in 10 years, seniors are getting the biggest increase in Social Security checks. The checks are going to go up, and the Medicare premiums are going to go down at the same time. And I promise you, I'll protect Social Security. I'll protect Medicare. I'll protect you. And all of this is in stark contrast to the state of Republican agenda. They're all after what Charlie and Val, but their opponents are just exact opposite of what they're for. By the way, if I can note for just a second, I made a promise to you that I'd make my administration and cabinet look like America. I have more African Americans, more Hispanic Americans, more women than men, more women than men in my cabinet. Not a joke. And guess what? I promised you I'd have a black woman on the Supreme Court. She's on the Supreme Court. She's smarter than the rest of them. Look, I have appointed more black women to the appeals court. Hear me out. More black women to the appeals court and federal courts than every other president combined in American history. It's about time. It's about time. Folks, it goes across the board. To Hispanic Americans, Asian Pacific Islanders. Oh, look, we have to have, and I've been arguing this for a long time, we have to have my administration and this government look like America. Look like America. That's why we're so strong. That's why we're who we are. And folks, by the way, I might note parenthetically, the more valedictorians in the major universities in America are women than men. That's the old thing. I went to the same university as my sister. I graduated. She graduated honors, you know? Why do you think I'm kidding? I'm not. Look, folks. Kevin McCarthy, he's the leader of the Republicans in the House of Representatives. The Republicans have, they're saying it out loud now. They're saying what they want to do. Thank God for small favors. Here's what they said. He says their number one priority is to do the following. Deny Medicare the right to negotiate drug prices. Oh, I'm serious. He wants to give the power back to Big Pharma so they can continue to rip us off with prescription drug prices. He wants to end the cap on prescription drug costs at $2,000 on Medicare. Gone. $35 a month cap on insulin for seniors. Gone. Savings on health care premiums of $800 for millions of Americans under the Affordable Care Act. Gone. And, of course, they're still determined to repeal the Affordable Care Act overall, which means that anyone with a pre-existing condition would lose any access to health care. Folks, these protections are gone as well if Republicans get their way. And look, tax credits for lower energy bills, gone. A corporate minimum tax of 15% I signed into law, gone. Under the Republican plan, many of the biggest corporations will go back to paying zero taxes. Now, I'm not making this up. It's a fact. In 2020, 55 of the Fortune 500 largest corporations made $40 billion in profit, and they paid zero federal tax. That's their plan. It's reckless and irresponsible will make inflation worse. No badly hurt working class and middle class Americans. But that's not all. They're coming after your Social Security and Medicare. And they're saying it out loud. Your great Senator Rick Scott here in Florida. He's in charge of electing Republicans in the Senate. He laid out the plan clearly. He put Social Security and Medicare on the chopping block every 5 years. This means, listen closely to this, because it's deadly earnest. It means every 5 years, Congress will vote to cut, reduce, or completely eliminate Social Security or Medicare. They do nothing, it goes out of existence. Not a joke. Then a long